Almost every major TV brand, Samsung, LG, Vizio, Sony, now sells you more than shows. They sell your secrets. The FBI has warned, and even Samsung admits, your living room isn't private. Your smart TV is listening and watching, sometimes even when you think it's off, snapping up to 30 images per minute, logging every word and every show through built-in microphones and patented surveillance software. It's not just collecting data for itself. Millions of TVs, confirmed by university researchers, are mapping your habits and sending them far beyond your home. If you think privacy settings protect you, think again. What exactly are these TVs recording, and what's really being done with your life behind the screen? Inside nearly every smart TV, there's more than just a screen and a circuit board. Hidden in the bezel or tucked behind the frame, you'll find microphones, sometimes even cameras, waiting for your next command. Manufacturers say these sensors are there to help. Voice search, video calls, gesture controls. But these same components can be turned on in ways you never intended. Even when the power light fades and the TV slips into standby, the hardware isn't really asleep. Microphones can still listen for wake words. Some models keep cameras partially powered, ready to snap back to life at the slightest signal. The line between on and off isn't as clear as it used to be. Now, here's where things get more technical and more unsettling. In 2021, Inscape Data Services secured a U.S. patent, number 10,951,698B1. It describes a process called real-time visual sampling. The patent lays out, in plain terms, a system where your TV can capture up to 30 images every minute, snapshots of whatever's on the screen, whether it's a streaming show, a video game, or even a paused frame from your phone. These samples aren't just for diagnostics. They're used to create a fingerprint of your viewing habits down to the second. That's not a glitch or a hack. It's built into the design. The patent's own language spells it out. A display device samples visual output at regular intervals, even during standby or passive input modes, for the purpose of content recognition and behavioral analysis. So, what does that mean for you? It means the hardware in your living room is always ready to record, always ready to listen, and always ready to send what it collects somewhere else. Whether you're watching late-night news or just letting the screen idle, those microphones and cameras are still part of the conversation. The next layer of surveillance isn't just in the software, it starts with the sensors themselves. Automatic Content Recognition, or ACR, is the software brain behind most smart TV surveillance. It works by turning those screen snapshots and audio samples into a detailed log of your viewing habits. Every time you flip to a new show, launch a streaming app, or even connect a game console through HDMI, ACR is there, fingerprinting what's on the screen. This isn't just about what you stream online. A CR can identify content from any source, cable, Blu-ray, even a home movie. It does this by comparing tiny slices of video and audio to a massive database, matching exact titles, episodes, and even the ads that run in between. Each match gets time-stamped and recorded, building a second-by-second map of your living room entertainment. According to a 2018 UC Berkeley report, millions of TVs across brands like Vizio, Samsung, and LG are running ACR right now. The scale is staggering. One researcher described it as the most widespread invisible tracking network in the modern home. The process is almost entirely automated. ACR samples a few frames every second, converts them into digital fingerprints, and sends those fingerprints to company servers. The system doesn't care if you're binge-watching a new series or just pausing on a menu screen. Every image and sound is another data point. It's not just what you watch, but when you watch, how long you watch, and whether you skipped ads or rewound a scene. If you plug in a PlayStation or DVD player, ACR picks up those signals too, logging every input. The end result is a precise, personalized profile. What you like, when you're home, who might be watching with you, all built from the quiet, constant work of this software. That profile doesn't just sit on your TV. It's ready to be packaged, sold, and used in ways most people never expect. Once your TV has built a detailed profile of what you watch, that information doesn't stay in your living room. It's packaged and shipped out, joining a global data pipeline that runs straight to the desks of advertisers, data brokers, and marketers. The journey starts with your TV's ACR system, which collects viewing patterns, timestamps, device identifiers, and even clues about who's in the room. This raw data is sent to the manufacturer's servers, where it's enriched and matched with other identifiers, like your Wi-Fi network, IP address, or even mobile device IDs. From there, it's handed off to data brokers and ad tech firms. Companies like LiveRamp, Oracle, and Experian take those TV profiles and link them to everything else they know about you: your web browsing, app usage, and sometimes even offline purchases. This is called cookie syncing, and it means your TV habits can be tied directly to your phone and computer, even if you never log in on the TV. Suddenly, watching a cooking show on your TV could trigger ads for kitchen gadgets on your phone just minutes later. This data isn't traded for pennies. According to a 2023 study from University College London and UC Davis, a single user's viewing profile sells for anywhere from $5 to $15 per year. That might not sound like much, but multiply it by tens of millions of households and the numbers become staggering. And when it comes to children, the price jumps even higher, up to 30% more. Marketers pay a premium for data on kids, using it to target ads for toys, snacks, or educational apps. Some brokers even build early behavioral models, trying to predict interests and habits before a child can spell their own name. The end result is a marketplace where your TV viewing is just another commodity, bought and sold with little oversight. Every show, every pause, every channel flip, each one becomes a data point in someone else's profit equation. In 2017, regulators took aim at the way smart TVs collect and use private information. The Federal Trade Commission filed a case against Vizio, one of the largest TV brands in the United States. Investigators found that Vizio had quietly tracked what people watched on 11 million TVs. Every show, every ad, every input, without asking for permission, or even letting users know it was happening. That data, bundled with details like Wi-Fi networks and device IDs, was sold off to marketers and data brokers. Vizio's engineers admitted in depositions that user privacy wasn't a priority during the design process. The company settled for $2.2 million, but the tracking practices had already set a precedent for the entire industry. The fallout didn't stop there. In 2020, class action lawsuits targeted other major players, LG, Samsung, and Sony, accusing them of violating privacy laws with similar secretive data collection. Plaintiffs argued that privacy controls were buried deep in confusing menus, and that companies continued to gather data even after users tried to opt out. Most of these cases are still working their way through the courts, but the accusations alone forced brands to rethink how they present privacy options. Across the Atlantic, European regulators stepped in. Consumer watchdogs and technical audits reported that firmware updates from leading TV brands could quietly reset privacy settings and re-enable tracking, even when users had previously opted out. The European Data Protection Board responded by warning manufacturers that consent must be respected at all times, including after updates. While no brand has faced a formal penalty for this tactic as of late 2025, the risk remains real. Technical audits confirm that privacy settings are often reset in practice, leaving users exposed until they dig through menus and reconfigure their preferences. Privacy advocates call this the most invisible form of commercial surveillance. The law is catching up, but enforcement lags behind the pace of new tracking methods. For now, the burden of protection still falls on the people in front of the screen. Trying to turn off tracking on a smart TV feels like playing a game you can't win. The option to disable ACR, automatic content recognition, sounds simple, but it's buried deep in the settings. On some Samsung and LG models, you'll need to click through up to 9 different menus, jumping between privacy, advertising, and system sections, just to find the right toggle. The language is vague, tucked under names like viewing information services or interactive advertising. Even once you find it, there's no guarantee it will stay off. Manufacturers design these menus to be confusing for a reason. Usability studies show that most people give up before reaching the actual privacy controls. One study found that settings are often hidden 8 to 10 clicks deep. This isn't a bug. It's friction by design meant to nudge you into leaving tracking on. But the real frustration starts after a firmware update. Many brands quietly reset privacy preferences when they push out new software. You turn off tracking, the TV updates, and suddenly, data collection is back on, often without any warning. Consumer reports and privacy watchdogs have documented this pattern for years. The official story is that updates are for your security, but the end result is the same. You have to dig through the menus again and again just to keep your data private. And even if you manage to opt out, streaming apps like Netflix or Amazon Prime keep collecting their own analytics, running outside the TV's main privacy controls. For most people, the illusion of control is exactly that, an illusion. The system is designed to wear you down until you give up. Weak passwords are a hacker's dream. On many smart TVs, the default login is still admin, or a string of zeros. That's not just lazy design, it's an open door. Once inside, an attacker doesn't need to guess what you're watching. They can move laterally, scanning your home network for other devices, laptops, phones, even smart thermostats. In Ohio, a family learned this the hard way. In 2022, their LG Smart TV was breached through an unpatched firmware flaw. The TV's weak password let the intruder slip past the first layer. From there, the hacker pulled Wi-Fi credentials right out of the TV's memory. With those, they gained access to the family's router, then their work computer in the next room. Emails, tax files, and family photos, suddenly all exposed, all because of a single device in the living room. It doesn't stop at files and passwords. Some smart TVs allow remote activation of microphones and cameras, even when the screen is dark. Security teams at Carnegie Mellon have shown that a vulnerable TV can be hijacked to listen for keywords or record short audio clips, then send that data to a server overseas. The TV doesn't blink or flash a warning. To anyone in the room, everything looks normal. The biggest risk isn't just targeted attacks. It's that these exploits are automated, sold in kits, and traded online. A single unpatched TV can become a gateway for malware, ransomware, or worse, turning your entire home network into a target. For hackers, the living room is now a launch pad. When you're up against a system built to track everything you do, it's easy to feel powerless. That's where digital safety tools come in. Aura is a service designed to give you back some control, bundling together the protections that most people need, but rarely set up on their own. Start with the basics. Aura includes a VPN or virtual private network, which encrypts your internet traffic and hides your real location from prying eyes. That means your smart TV, phone, and laptop can all browse and stream with less risk of being tracked or profiled. For anyone worried about data leaks, Aura's dark web monitoring scans the corners of the internet where stolen passwords and account details are traded. If your email or streaming logins ever show up in a breach, you get an alert right away. One of the most overlooked dangers is data brokers, those companies that buy and sell your information, often without your knowledge. Aura offers a data broker removal service, sending official requests to dozens of companies to get your details taken out of circulation. It's not instant, but it's one less way for your habits to end up in a marketing database. The service also backs you with up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. If someone does manage to use your personal data for fraud, you're not left alone to clean up the mess. For people who want a single toolkit instead of a patchwork of apps, Aura wraps these features into one dashboard. It's not a magic shield, but it's a strong start for anyone who wants to fight back against the constant surveillance built into modern tech. Here is the part most people skip. What you can actually do right now to push back against all that tracking. It starts with a factory reset. When you wipe your TV and set it up from scratch, you get a clean slate. But this time, move slowly through the setup screens. Say no to every request for personalized ads, viewing information, or voice assistant activation. If you're not sure, choose the most restrictive option. Don't rush. Manufacturers count on you clicking "Agree" just to get to your shows. Next, dig into your TV's settings and turn off ACR, the automatic content recognition that fingerprints everything on your screen. It might be called something like Viewing Information Services, Smart Interactivity, or Live Plus. You'll probably need to click through a maze of menus. Stick with it. Disabling ACR cuts off the main pipeline that sends your habits to data brokers. Then get physical. If your TV has a built-in camera or microphone, cover them. Use a piece of tape, a sliding shutter, or a purpose-built cover. Even if you trust the software, hardware can fail or get hacked. Blocking the lens and mic is a simple, old-school fix that beats any digital toggle. Finally, disconnect your TV from Wi-Fi when you're not using smart features. No internet means no outbound data. You can still watch with an antenna, a Blu-ray player, or a game console. For most people, pulling the plug on Wi-Fi is the single most effective way to stop the flow of information. You don't have to go off the grid. Just make your living room a little less open to prying eyes. By 2024, nearly every major TV brand, Samsung, LG, Vizio, Sony, ships internet-connected devices with built-in microphones and cameras. As shown in U.S. Patent 10,951,698b1, some TVs can capture up to 30 frames per minute, while automatic content recognition technology tracks what you watch, even from offline sources. The 2017 FTC case against Vizio revealed 11 million TVs secretly recording viewing habits, and a 2023 study confirmed that data is routinely sold for $5 to $15 per user, with children's data valued even higher. Yet, many privacy settings remain buried, and firmware updates can quietly reset your choices. Despite regulatory action in the US and EU, the full extent of smart TV surveillance and how your data is ultimately used remains unclear. What is certain? The devices in our living rooms are part of a vast commercial surveillance network. Today, taking simple protective steps is one of the few ways consumers can limit their exposure.